Hey there, everybody. Wait. I know you want to skip ahead to the video, but trust me, this is important. So, here recently, things have been kicking off on the Patreon. I mean, really, they have been just skyrocketing. So, we just want to let you all know for that when we hit 1,000...
That was messy. Well, so, as things were being said before, you know, somebody didn't wait his turn, we have a Patreon. Yes, that's right, we have a Patreon. And it's been doing quite well. But you know what? It could always be doing better. Boy, that sounded conceited. But you know what? It's fine. So, there's goals on there for $1,000 a month and $2,000 a month. Also, early access to our videos, extra bonuses on our Discord. The benefits just keep coming, so go check it out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go practice medicine. Hello, Internet. Yes. We have returned from the mists of the ether of the swirling nebulousness. No, you know what? We should just start this over. No, we're just going to do it anyway.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. It's the Renegades, and we're going to watch everything wrong with Star Trek Beyond in 17 minutes or less. So, all right. Nate and I picked this one because a lot of the ones we wanted to watch, either A, I haven't seen because I find it hard to get to movies, and then after they leave theaters, you know, I don't know why, I just don't see them.
Procrastination.
Yeah.
It happens, dude.
Yeah.
I'm the same way sometimes.
But also, there were a bunch that we just couldn't do without Micah.
Yeah, Micah has to be here
for
these.
I mean, it's just we have to. Yeah. Micah has to be here.
And Micah really doesn't much care for Star Trek.
Yeah, and this is, of the 3 new Star Trek movies, this one I think was the best of them. This was the most Star Trek.
Which,
I mean, all of them have been, you know, pretty decent science fiction, action-adventure movies. This is the one that actually felt like it could have been Star Trek.
Yeah, okay, and I think one thing that attributes to it is Simon Pegg being one of the writers.
Simon Pegg's writing was pretty good.
Yeah, and okay, for me, I've seen the Star Trek movies. I liked the first one. Second one had a great setup, and great having Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan was good, but then the ending happened. And the ending ruined so much for me. And I was just like, are we going to do this? Really?
Now you know how I feel about Mass Effect 3.
Are we really going to do this? I mean, seriously, dude? Are we really pulling this?
Yeah.
And then,
they did.
Star Trek Beyond. Mm-hmm. Star Trek Beyond got good reviews and also gained the much needed approval of this man right here, because he's a huge Star Trek fan.
Yeah, I am.
But he wasn't a fan of the Star Trek movies, the Abrams
verse. Yeah, because
Lens flare.
I mean, lens flare. A lot of the issue was always, hey, we're not doing the adventure, exploration, maybe a little bit philosophical kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it's just heavy action, not a whole lot of
snarky Kirk, a little too much snarky Kirk.
I mean, that didn't bother me so much. I mean, that sort of made sense for a young Kirk, I guess.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Because, I mean, you look at how Shatner portrayed Kirk, and it makes a little sense, but
he portrayed him with dignity and pride, and
now you're just doing Zap Brannigan.
No, this is Zap Brannigan. I want some velour
There it is.
underwear. And don't forget the champagne.
Okay, so enough random jokes about Kirk and Kirk parodies
And his zapper.
and his zapper and this move. Like every time, if you go and watch old Kirk, he always does this.
And he also does
That's
like
his
that.
finisher.
He also does like that old man capoeira kick too, where he like puts a hand on the ground and like delivers a kick to the stomach, and he falls down.
Yes. Yeah, a kick that if you miss, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because you're on the ground and they're standing up.
Yes.
Yeah. A terrible maneuver. Terrible. Also, just
terrible
the
fight move.
Hammer fist.
The
it's
hammer.
so bad.
I was gonna say it's only really effective. It's only really effective whenever your hands are tied. Like
Yeah,
slaves that had their hands tied together had to they made that technique.
But I mean,
it was very effective.
But when you've got options,
Yeah.
not great.
No, it's not.
Okay,
But anyway.
enough ranting about Kirk and.
Well, I was going to say,
dumb.
if Kirk should have had a martial arts style, it should have been Krav Maga. And no, I'm not saying that because William Shatner's Jewish. I'm saying that because Krav Maga, in terms of its effectiveness, in terms of its range and ability, and not only that, but it also takes weapons into effect as well. I think is probably one of the most. Answer me this: if Israel is like the smallest nation with like one of the smallest populations in the Middle East, but yet is the military powerhouse.
I mean, there's got to be a reason.
There is a reason. It's because their training is just so good. I mean, they've got. I mean, Mossad has like the best training regimen there is when it comes to knowing how to handle knowing how to handle every situation, because that's what you have to do. You have to be able to handle every situation. And I think Krav Maga is like one of the most effective.
How many times have we tried to start watching this
Okay,
video?
let's
I'm just thinking out loud. Anyway, let's start it.
I
while
think
we
we're
have
on
the chance.
4. Okay, let's. Oh, sorry, Chico.
And Chico's just
Let's.
like
He butts his head in like.
he's like, I'm trying to start the video for
Okay.
you guys.
All right. Let's start the video.
With Star Trek Beyond.
Video starts at blah, 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 blah.
Thanks, Caleb.
In the future, movies will consist of nothing but logos, and we will be begging for a sequel.
You don't know the Fabonans like we do.
It's kind of ridiculous that this race of people who are so paranoid about Fabonans that they jump to conclusions this quickly even bothered to allow Kirk into their council with a gift from them. Also, these opening scenes are usually fan-tastic. Can we not see a whole movie that led to this scene just once, even as a web series? This angry alien attacking Kirk but turning out to be super tiny? Yeah, that's one of the biggest laughs in all of 2016 cinema, and I'm taking off 2 cents for it, because did you see that? That's fucking hilarious.
Did you
Pretty
manage to
good.
broker a treaty with the Tenexi? Let's just say it came up short.
Geez, you're not only stealing the James Bond action scene openers, you're also stealing his puns.
Would you log that and put it in the vault spot?
It definitely won't be important later. This is hilarious, but did they basically just kidnap these guys and fly away without beaming them back down?
As for me, things have started to feel a little episodic.
Har, TV show.
That was a good bit.
Good reference.
Okay, so again, that's funny, but what the hell is Bones doing rummaging through people's lockers? And did Chekhov leave it unlocked, or is Bones a master lockpicker?
I always assumed he'd be a vodka guy.
That's Russian. Apparently, the Federation decided to build Elysium on this planet. This is a public transporter, which would seem to negate the need for the train we saw just a few seconds ago. But what do I know? Are these people still together? Do I care about it?
Maybe it costs money. Maybe it costs money to do the
telephone.
telephone.
No, money is.
For some reason.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
If I forwarded through it, you might ask. Well, that's a
Socialism.
very interesting
Forgot.
story that skip. I don't think any of us care that Sulu is gay, but the problem is, assuming that because George Takei is gay and therefore the character he made popular is gay is kind of silly, and the antithesis of acting. The Vulcans, who met Spock right after he got off the ship during a bright sunny day, decided to conduct their meeting at night in a private courtyard next to a giant Terminator hand. Current modern Star Trek series actually handles real-life Leonard Nimoy's death with restraint and grace. Another sin-off. Greg Grunberg is like J.J. Abrams' Bruce Campbell, isn't he?
Well, the Enterprise
Yep.
does have the best navigational system in the fleet.
Of course it does.
The only ship here with more advanced technology is still under construction.
Of
That
course
woman
it is.
smokes like 5
And the
packs of
Enterprise
cigs
is
a
back
day
work,
to get that
working
kind of
on
voice.
Shore Leave Never Last, as
And
long
that's
as
her
it's opposed to
prerogative.
movie trope that extends beyond Star Trek into all of film.
Yep.
Beyond Star Trek? Did you see what I did there on complete accident? Because it's hilarious.
The Enterprise is something no other ship in the fleet has.
you.
Inspiring. Definitely need to give your crew some confidence going into a difficult mission. But if I'm some sort of peon on the ship, I'm wondering, what makes us so fucking special? Didn't we all go to the same school? Anyway, I guess I'll take it. You, Frank, missile loader on the USS Derivative.
It's Ahmed. My ship is stranded here.
As the movie will go on to prove, the Enterprise and Starfleet as well is really fucking stupid for trusting the eyewitness account of one individual.
No life forms on the surface.
Because Starfleet sensors are worthless.
A little bit.
Who cares? Why are you waiting so long to put the shields up or flying away? I know Kirk thinks he can take on everything in the universe with the Enterprise, but what makes him think it's going to be successful this time? I mean, at this point, I guess he knows that he's in a movie and nothing can kill him. Even though within 5
Kirk's a
minutes,
Mary
all
Sue,
of the
but Kirk's
artifacts
always
he
been a
needs,
Mary
these ships
Sue.
will somehow only break the Enterprise into large, survivable sections instead of millions of pieces, which is what I'd do if I were a swarm of B ships.
They took out the dish. Shields are inoperable.
Inoperable? As in not suitable to be operated on? It's an honest enough mistake, but you clearly meant inoperative, and whoever wrote the script or edited this movie thinks the two words are interchangeable.
There's a chance I can reroute the energy reserves from the warp core to the impulse engines.
Scotty, you fucking liar. Hey, these ships pierced the hull to get here. The Enterprise has lost its shields, meaning this hallway should have the environment of fucking space right now, and all these red shirt assholes are already dead. I mean, right? What am I missing? Those things can't possibly have made an airtight seal. Ah, Oscar Isaac. Apparently the reason for these guys attacking the ship was to steal the artifact
Different,
from the beginning of the movie. So now that they have it, why do they give a shit about Spock?
I mean, it's possible that the containment fields are separate from the actual
Yes, it's literally
defensive
life or death right
shields.
now. Let's take time to pay the chief engineer a compliment before giving a potentially life-saving order. Jesus. Oh no, the Enterprise is dead again. I wonder if they'll repair it or find a way to bring it back somehow. Woe is us. I mean, exactly who was moved by this anymore? Krall manages to find Kirk.
It did
teleported to
hit
this
pretty
very
good.
spot on the ship and started running
Well, it
so he
wasn't
could
destroyed
spot.
like
Oh,
this. I
let's
mean,
have
Yeah.
an alien who
this
doesn't
was
shoot her
something
immediately
else.
like all the other aliens have done. These assholes survived this. Movie steals the empty box from every movie ever, but let's say it's sneakers.
Impulse engines drawing power from auxiliary generators.
Man, the warp reserves, the auxiliary generators, these impulse engines can draw power from anything. But my biggest gripe is that any of the ship lasted long enough for him to even say this. This ship has been flipping over like a quarter before a football game for 10 minutes now. But for this shot, while it's still flipping, mind you, Kirk is able to stand perfectly still on the bridge and solemnly contemplate his failures.
Well,
Of course,
gravity
Kirk gets a firsthand
compensation.
view of
I mean-
his
Yeah,
ship's
artificial
final
grav's
demolition,
still on.
because it
Yeah.
wouldn't be poetic if he didn't. Look what you did, Kirk, you big dumbass. Movie probably didn't mean it, but I'm getting a serious Star Trek Generations vibe here, and that's not a good thing. Star Trek film goes all
Depends
the
on what part of
furious on
Star
our
Trek
list.
Generations you're
Wait a
talking about.
second. Kirk landed in about exactly the same area where the woman who betrayed him landed. Uhura's all, well, I'm on a desolate alien planet. Thank God Starfleet has female officers wear skirts, am I right? Also, while I'm at it, thank God, aka the screenwriter, this alien planet has breathable air for humans, no?
Federation is an act of war.
This guy's Koba speech patterns are distracting. No, seriously. Apes, follow Koba now. Now replay his line.
Federation is an act of war.
I mean, you see the bind I'm in.
Yeah.
He will come for us.
I am counting on it.
So your plan is to destroy the Enterprise, killing dozens, then capture the survivors and wait for the captain to come rescue them? Do I have that right? I've seen this movie, so I know you don't have a Kirk-specific vendetta. So isn't this just a chilling line that ultimately means nothing? Because I think it is.
My God, Spock.
How are you not dead?
Cut the horse.
Doctor, I fail to see how excrement of any kind bears relevance on our current situation.
Are you telling me Spock has been on this ship for years and he's never once heard someone use bullshit or horseshit and doesn't know what it means? That's bullshit. Well, this is cool.
I think that's his way of making
See how
jokes.
this works at all. I mean, the holograms are actually physically fighting these guys. If they were simply hologram distractions, that's one thing. But these are actually making physical contact. You would never need an army if this is possible.
Holodeck technology.
Plus, it saves us the
This is
burden
true.
of hearing
Fine.
that translator thing again, and it's convenient for the story, so...
And you are Montgomery Scott.
Aye, Scotty.
Come now, Montgomery Scotty.
Jayla is exactly the breath of fresh air this
Yes!
series needed.
Yes,
Taking us
thank
off with
you!
awesomeness.
She's such a good character.
And not to
Possibly
mention
work.
Sophia Botella
Spock
is
is literally
just
the only Enterprise crew member to survive this
awesome.
crash
Yeah,
landing.
I'm
With
so
the
sad that her
mission,
next role
everyone else
was
either died or it's just
the
peachy. Only
mummy.
Spock has an injury. Weird.
The console is intact, Captain.
Fucking how?
Ah.
Acid sneeze.
We got about 15 minutes until the next guard rotation. Come on.
And you were able to figure out their guard schedule with the sample size of a couple of hours, maybe? And 15 minutes? I mean, who else do these assholes have to guard? And can't they keep one guy standing outside to keep watch? And how do they know no one's doing that? And I guess even if they had one guard keeping watch, they'd use the old someone's having a heart attack in here routine to escape, but damn.
He's access to Yorktown database.
Carl is using the Magellan probe to cut through the nebula and hack into Starfleet. One of the biggest problems Starfleet was having was cutting through the nebula with these very same probes. But my question is, there wasn't one person who could figure out how to make these things work before they sent the Enterprise blindly into the nebula. Here, Carl's men catch these Enterprise crew members up to no good. But does he have them killed? Of course not. He's a villain with a conscience. That kicks in only after he's destroyed a ship and killed 50% of its crew in the process. Then he becomes a big shot. Kirk shoots his phaser into the combustion chamber, and that ignites the fuel so the ship can fly. Do I have that right? This girl lied to Kirk and but man, she did it for good reasons. Yet I'm still apparently supposed to be glad she's dying. Well, there goes the Enterprise again. Luckily, many years ago, Krall flew a similar ship here that crash-landed that they'll be able to use to get back. Jumping away from an explosion just as it goes off, cliche.
The strength of others, Lieutenant, is what kept me alive.
Strangely enough, I brought you to this very spot to talk to you, so I can show off my Human Power Sucker 5000, constructed from corrugated hoses and matrixy doodads. I'm glad you gave me that special Unity line, because it makes this demonstration all the more dramatic. Man, this planet is really f***ing foggy. I think I see the Misty Mountain.
Sir Spock has died. I want to live as he did.
One day, I hope someone will send me to a planet with a roomy cave so I can see my homeworld destroyed, and another Spock from another dimension just happens to stumble on me when it happens.
Yeah, it's fair.
Is that music?
Of course not. It's rap.
Someone said
And it's Kirk and Chekhov, of course. This is a planet, right? Like a whole planet? Because if so, what are the f***ing odds?
Don't hurt them because you take that.
Jayla decides the best way to handle this is by not telling anybody what she's doing, thereby causing more alarm than necessary.
Captured by a giant green space hand.
Green Lantern?
She's rigged up image refractors.
So, Klingon or Romulan cloaking technology? She just invented that? Or are you saying image refractors are a thing that exists and the Federation just never implemented this tech to have their own cloaking ships?
Like some sort of holographic camouflage.
Aye, sir.
Looks glitch as though, and something Krall should have already discovered. Or is the flashing just for the viewers so they remember there's a ship under there? Of course, these Krall soldiers can instantly track and locate a radio signal, but a transporter signal will baffle them completely. Hologram confusingness of death. Air claw storage. Also, this girl defies orders, opens her facehugger head, and gives Krall the very thing Kirk wanted to hide from Krall, and which Sulu was ready to die to protect. Stupid facehugger head girl. Also, good thing she didn't get lost or exploded during the Enterprise attack, huh?
Unity is not your strength, it is your weakness.
I could have sworn MC Hammer declared that sweetness was humanity's weakness, but whatever. I guess Krall has just about as much street cred as Hammer does these days, so who am I to say? This MacGuffin is a lot like the first movie's MacGuffin. Remember the red matter?
Yeah.
A scary weapon, the details of which don't matter, just so long as our hero is thwarted in time. Apparently, if you use medical equipment on someone who's been bleeding internally, they can walk around as if it never happened within minutes.
Well, he is a...
It makes it very easy to identify.
He is Vulcan.
You gave your girlfriend a tracking device. That was not my intention.
One of the best laughs I've had in a long time.
Yeah, that was really good.
I am detecting a very trace amount of Wakaya.
In a minute, Chekhov is going to claim they can't transport the crew out of the area because of some geological interference. But this computer can detect a f***ing radioactive Vulcan rock that his girlfriend is luckily wearing around her neck through that interference.
If you choose to do this, you're on your own.
The alien who is obviously going to help them has to pitch a fit first, so the audience thinks she's not going to help them, because this movie is basically a coloring book. Love the motorcycle diversion plan, but this shot suggests the motorcycle was traveling at full speed before the transporter even started working, which is goddamn ridiculous. Just beam that static standing still and we don't have a problem.
Split it into two and ejected the halves into space, hoping it would be lost forever.
Why do assholes who want something dangerous gone always do something that totally assures it will be found? Somehow, some way. This is the parallel situation, only with less digging. Krall puts a thing into a whatever and some stuff happens, leading to Syl's death. Ancient Stolen Weapon is basically the nanobots from Michael Crichton's Prey. Remember earlier in the movie when you were counting on Kirk showing up? Why do you look so surprised right now? And given you already have the all-powerful deadly weapon, why were you ever counting on Kirk showing up? One of these is the actual Kirk, meaning the captain has put himself in danger once again. I mean, cool distraction, bro. It's like Russian roulette with holograms. Look, even if you're projecting doubles of yourself somehow, they're not all turning in different directions, are they? Wouldn't they all mirror the movements of the... Oh, f*** it. I'm going for more wine.
Let's hope this doesn't get messy. Energize!
Somehow, reconfiguring a ship that barely has any power to be
so the issue is that the interference could have made it not work as well, which means that you're putting lives in danger.
Oh, look, the guy who killed her
that's
family's founder and is attacking her.
That's
poetic for sure. But
what I'm going with.
I'd be attacking Kirk, not Jaylen. But I guess poetry outweighs common sense here, the way it does in a Jane Austen adaptation.
Ooh! Ooh!
Burn! She's a great fighter with a vendetta, but this dude is still going to basically own her because the movie wants you to feel tension.
Yeah.
God damn it. So I guess this movie has time for some villainous taunting. Will that make his death more satisfying? Probably not. Jayla's in easy grabbing distance, but this asshole allows her to get on
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I did have that problem.
Here's a whole
Grab.
world of bullshit, and this is where getting a Fast and Furious director comes in, I guess. Besides, how did that transporter not already beam Kirk before he got there anyway?
Let's never do that again.
This isn't Kirk being funny and exhausted. This is Chris Pine about this stunt-heavy movie.
These old vessels, they were built in space. They were never supposed to take off from atmosphere.
Shut up, Scotty. Just make the impossible happen.
Thank you!
Ship plane is clearly
So was the Enterprise!
This is just a silly fake-out scene cliche. Thank God this 100-year-old is built to withstand multiple impacts with mountains. Am I right? This face. Sulu had no idea that would work, and he's simultaneously impressed and mystified, and that is worth a sin off.
Yes, it is.
On one of those swarm ships.
Have you gone completely mad?
This should be pretty much impossible, but Scotty's going to beam 2 people onto one of these B ships. Thousands of swarming B ships, all going in different patterns and and he's going to get the precise coordinates to do just that.
Spock, you're still hurt.
He's pretty good.
The ejection panels for this ship are this far away from the actual pilot's chair. Kind of makes you wonder what these pilots would do if they were in a ship that was on fire.
That's a good choice.
It was indeed, but the odds of her picking this one song Kirk has a previous association with are so astronomical, I'm gonna sin it anyway. That said, damn, I just love that this is the way they're gonna kill these things. It's inventive and smart, and I've gotta hand it to them for this scene. Removing a sin.
Master Doctor, we risk being consumed by their trajectorial decay.
Can't Scotty just beam them out of this thing? If you say no to this, remember Scotty has done about 50 impossible things in this movie already, including beaming them onto the ship.
Beaming them onto the ship isn't that bad considering he's already done like a transport onto a ship moving faster than light.
Carl manages to
This is true.
that is inflicted on all the ships around him and continue this movie for another 20 minutes.
Never occurred to me that the thing that was moving was space.
Space cops.
Intercepting all 3 ships is an impossibility.
You mean you can't keep playing sabotage and destroy the last 3 ships? Hell, Yorktown has the frequency now. What's preventing this amazing attack from working again? Did Carl turn on his anti-sabotaging shields? Yes, this does feel like a happy climax, but this movie still has 30 minutes left, if you can believe that. Just like Into Darkness, this modern Star Trek movie refuses to end at the obvious point. Instead, taking us to yet more unbelievable shenanigans. Uhura rewound this thing about 174 times, but neglected to let it play 2 seconds after so that she, Kirk, and we could see Idris Elba's face, which is the important thing.
I don't know how, but Edison is wrong.
While we're all being amazed that an old Starfleet captain / assumed dead hero turned into a monster, basically Colonel Kurtz from Apocalypse Now, this is a bit troublesome, because remember, Jayla found the USS Franklin and put refractors on the ship to keep it hidden. But wouldn't Krall have known where the ship was since he crash-landed there?
They have some sort of technology that prolongs life.
If it's been 100 years and you don't know all the glitches of your
species left the planet, and
thing,
behind only drones.
of the
So
thing
why
that's
did
keeping
we
you
not die long
alive,
ago with no species fuel to power the technology? And how do
you
you turn
know.
these drones, which were made for mining, into an elite swarming fighting force in space? This reveal actually brings up way more questions.
Federation do not care about us.
You got lost, though, behind a crippling nebula? Is it possible, in your view, that the Federation simply has no idea where you went?
Because he wants to find somewhere to inflict maximum damage.
He needs a distribution system.
They have to circulate air here, right?
Jeez, I mean, he came up with that in like 2 seconds. Also, no, the corkscrew, man-made, moon-sized city of Yorktown does not require air. I mean, duh.
That's the only way.
This planet-sized space station only has one way to access its airflow. Only one. I mean, if you ever need to repair this...
I mean, realistically...
Kirk is easily distracted, giving the dangerous Krall the upper hand. Wow, this super weapon doesn't even need to be plugged into anything.
Sorry.
Huh. Who would have... Oh, fuck it. This weapon.
And there's 4 of them.
There are 4 hatches for this air distributor system that is never supposed to be open in the first place. Why are there 4 hatches? Why are there 4 hatches? Must be some way of getting Idris Elba back into the action, I'm guessing.
If the hatch is open when the processor cycles and you're in it, you're going to get sucked into space.
Provided, of course, that you don't hang on to the easily hang-onable hatch frames when it happens, which is exactly what he's going to do.
Jim, you won't make it out in time.
Yes, he will. They killed and revived him last movie, so he's untouchable now. Do you even movie bones? Ex Machina. This guy is getting hoisted by his own petard. This swarming, evil, swarming stuff destroys everything, except well-known Star Trek symbols. Huh. Spock had a publicity photo from one of the Star Trek movies in his possession. Not the adventure he just went through with Kirk, but instead it's the picture of the other timeline's Enterprise crew that ultimately changes Spock's mind about quitting Starfleet. That's the future impacting the past paradox.
Hey, Kinzer.
I'll remind everyone that this is a proud race of people that have suddenly become Starfleet pets. That's racist. At some point, Starfleet has got to be all like, that's it. We are not building any more Enterprises. You keep f***ing them all up. I gotta admit, this sped-up Enterprise construction footage is kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
So, what the hell? I'll take another sin off.
This SETI Alpha 5!
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Don't wait for the translation! Answer me now!
The microbots are controlled with this neurotransmitter.
Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Oh no, the destruction of the Nebuchadnezzar audio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast!
The fact is, we got every mob in town, east side, west side, ready to pull together. If we take that downtown and we get in a money game, that is ain't going to jail.
We are now entering the Mutara Nebula.
I promise I won't hurt you. Now come here. No. All right. You want something to eat?
Jesus. All right.
I mean, yeah, the movie is not without its flaws. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I never said that it was without its flaws. That is still a flawed movie.
I get that.
By God, there's some good bits to it.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. And, I mean, they tried to do something original, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, well, no, I agree.
You know, when
I agree.
you consider that the second one was like, oh, we're not going to do Wrath of Khan. They actually specifically said, we're not doing Wrath of Khan.
And lo and behold.
And then they did Wrath of Khan.
Now.
And they didn't even do it well.
Yeah. So, for me, what this movie does is creatively, in terms of storytelling, I think it revitalizes the necessity for more, or not the necessity, but the logic for more Star Trek films, especially if it's done like this.
Well, but the problem is you now have the case where, you know, you've lost Anton Yelchin.
Yes, you've lost Chekhov,
which I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but he's a huge part of these movies.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's a very important character, very integral to a lot of the points that are a lot of the plot developments and everything.
I mean, because you think about it, it's him and Scotty doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the
lot of the techno stuff.
Yeah,
you know, who's got to carry out the techno babble? It's those two.
Yeah, they'll go back and forth on it, and then you got you got Bones throwing in his philosophical stuff as well. As damn it, man, I'm a doctor, not a physicist.
I'm glad that they're only doing one of those a movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very glad.
But for me, one thing I will say about the unfortunate passing of Anton Yelchin, is that well, for one, they said if they do more Star Trek movies, which they've clearly stated that they're interested in doing more.
Mm-hmm.
They are not going to recast.
Good.
They are not going to recast him. Instead, what they are going to do is they are going to potentially bring in. Well, I was going to say, notable addition in this film, Sofia Boutella.
Yeah.
Imagine her in place.
I would be. I mean, I don't know if she can necessarily jump in place of Chekhov, but I think she would be a fantastic addition to the crew.
I think so too.
Like,
I think
Jayla was an excellent character.
Yes.
Sofia Boutella did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they got it right. She was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and what I could see her being is kind of her back there with Scotty.
Yeah, that's exactly
her working back in the engine room. Yeah, her and Scotty going back and forth. And also I could see I could actually see them moving on and like moving up Sulu.
Yeah.
I could see them moving him up, maybe pulling what they did in Wrath of Khan and like giving him his own ship.
Yeah.
Giving him his own ship, and it's actually a collaborative effort between his ship and the Enterprise.
Yeah,
I could see that because the pilot's chairs have to be, the navigator and the pilot's chair have to be occupied, I think, by Chekhov and Sulu. I think because those two working off of each other worked really well.
Well, I mean, you could do that, but you could also get some plot development out of Sulu having to get used to a new guy.
That could be done as well. That could be done as well. I think that would be interesting.
I don't know, but this gives me. I mean, this movie gave me more hope for the Abrams-verse Star Trek movies.
I get that, and
I do hope that they don't try to jump to Next Generation.
I don't think they will,
because that one's still way too fresh. Like I think if you try to do Next Generation right now, you're just done.
Well, in terms of television series, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
because
I mean,
the television series started in 1994, wasn't it, or 87, I think.
Yeah.
87.
But I mean,
and
like
finished
if you
in
try to jump to Next Generation in the movies, I don't think you're going to have that much success, because I mean, if you talk about beloved characters, the Next Generation crew. Oh.
Okay. In terms of for you, I forget who said it. Like original series over Next Generation in terms of overall stories, but in terms of like the characters, Picard over Kirk. That's what I've heard some people say. They say they wrestle back and forth, but they like Picard better than they do Kirk.
That's a fair statement, I suppose. My thinking on it is, no matter which one you like better, you have to respect what the original series did.
No, I appreciate that.
I mean, it kicked off this whole thing.
Yeah.
Not only did it kick off a lot of the science fiction type shows, but it also kicked off Star Trek. It's like, no matter how you feel about James Bond, you have to respect Sean Connery for being the first one.
Mm-hmm. Understandably, 100%.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you have to respect the original series, but yeah, I think overall, like, Next Gen took Star Trek and essentially just made the aspects better. Like, they took where Star Trek had gone, and then they fine-tuned it and tweaked it to, sort of like hone in on the essence of Star Trek. Oh my God, that sounds so fucking pretentious. We're ending the video now because
that's not pretentious. It's how you feel, dude.
Like, we're ending the video now because I feel like a dirtbag.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.